Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. I'm Peter Gross, co-host of the original Wild Kingdom with Marlon Perkins and Jim Fowler. For more than 50 years, Wild Kingdom explored wildlife and our natural world. Tonight's episode, and many others, focus on the timeless value of wildlife conservation. Wild Kingdom played a critical role in changing public attitudes about the importance of animals for the health of our planet and our own quality of life. We challenge viewers to learn about animals and get involved in conservation in their local communities. That call to action resulted in more visits to local zoos, nature preserves, and even observing animals in their natural habitats. And that connection with animals benefits all of us in the Wild Kingdom. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom right here on RFD-TV.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom is presented by Mutual of Omaha, people you can count on.
Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. Before recorded history began, Australia and its islands were part of a large continental landmass, probably connected with Antarctica, South America, and Africa. When the landmass broke up, certain animals survived here. Primary among these are the marsupials, animals with pouches for their young, such as kangaroos, native cats, flying phalangers, and wombats. On other continental masses, they could not compete well with other animals and perished, with the American opossums being the only notable exception. Another limited group of survivors on these islands are the monotremes, the egg-laying mammals. One of these is the echidna, a small insect eater. Another is the duck-billed platypus, one of nature's most unusual mammals. Among the limited places where these marsupials and monotremes have survived is on an island located here, about 100 miles off the southern coast of Australia. It's almost like a journey into the past to visit the isolated habitat where these unusual animals live now. That's why we call our story today, The Island That Time Forgot.
Looming as a remnant of the prehistoric past, the island that time forgot is strikingly beautiful up close. Migrating Australian sea lions frequently come ashore here in the gentle surf. They enjoy basking on the sun-warmed sand in small groups after they've eaten their fill of fish and penguins. Predatory animals are few, and even the large and powerful white-breasted fish eagle does not menace the strange mammals living here. The peaceful rest of the sea lions is interrupted only by noisy silver gulls who come close to them, keenly watchful for the tiny crustaceans that are often dislodged from their hiding places in the sand by the movements of the sea lions. The sea lions are annoyed by the bothersome gulls so eagerly snapping up the exposed sand fleas, but the gulls are not intimidated by the big mammals. Before long, the sea lions by the thousands will form breeding colonies here. The males may reach a length of over 8 feet and are much larger than the females. They're also more quickly bothered by outside annoyances, such as that now being caused by the gulls. Because they are migratory and swim to this remote island, sea lions are the only mammals ever found here which are neither marsupial animals nor monotremes. These large marine mammals, along with the migratory birds, are the only animals here which can come and go at will. Sea lions never go very far inland, so they rarely see the strange mammals native here. But the fish eagle sees many of them. Often, during the spring season like this, when the ground is carpeted with wildflowers, migrant flocks of waterfowl, such as the large Cape Barren geese, will land here to rest and feed. Undoubtedly, the most familiar of all the many species of marsupials on this island are the kangaroos. They're also the largest of the pouched animals, and they usually stay together in small groups called mobs. For all the kangaroos here, life is carefree because there are no dingoes to prey on them, as occurs on the Australian mainland. Kangaroos are very tiny when first born and remain in the mother's pouch constantly. Even when they get bigger, the mother kangaroo continues to carry them around. They eat grasses and plants and pay little attention to the birds which often come close, such as the raven. As her baby, called a joey, grows, it becomes difficult for the mother to carry him in her pouch and easier for him to fall out. Sometimes, in the way it enters and leaves the mother's pouch, the joey makes it look as if there's a back door also, though there's not. Another bird generally ignored by the kangaroos, despite the fact that it often approaches very closely, is the magpie. The joey's comings and goings become commonplace, and the mother pays little attention to his stopping by for a drink of her milk. She's watching one of the only two monotreme mammals in the world, the echidna, or spiny anteater. Monotremes, unlike the marsupials, don't bear young. Instead, they lay leathery shelled eggs from which their young hatch. Echidnas are timid, and whenever a larger animal comes near, as a marsupial wombat is doing now, the echidna protects itself with its armor of sharp spines. It can cling to the ground with amazing tenacity and protects itself even better by immediately beginning to dig itself in with powerful spade-like claws. This is practically an instinctive reaction, for there's no need to fear the wombat, which is a vegetarian. Isolated on this island, the kangaroos must remain here all their lives. They cannot swim well enough to leave or migrate like the black swan, which nests here in the spring. These swans raise large families of cygnets in the low-lying areas near the coast, which become flooded with spring rains. Because there are no large predators here, even the appearance of the wombat causes no real fear. Wombats, which also carry their young in pouches, are very sturdy animals. Usually they stay relatively near streams or ponds because they require a lot of water and feed on lush, low-growing vegetation. The black swans are distinctive because of their scarlet beaks. They will remain on this island until their nesting period ends and the cygnets have matured enough to migrate. In the island's forested interior lives another of the well-known marsupials, a furry and slow-moving tree dweller, the koala. This large adult has just noticed that high above there's another occupant, the flying phalanger. Appearing to be sort of a flying squirrel, it's actually one of the many species of marsupial possums with a pouch in which its young are carried. It's an extremely shy animal. Usually more at ease in the higher branches of any tree it occupies, the koala heads casually toward the upper limbs. The timid phalanger avoids other animals. Sometimes such leaps will cover over 50 yards. Near the koala's tree, a large barn owl is well camouflaged. His nap is interrupted. The owl now centers his attention on a large female brush-tailed possum carrying her half-grown baby on her back. Yet another of the many marsupials here, the possum is not terribly agile, but it's a skilled climber. Ever since her baby was born, she's carried it, first in her pouch, and then, when it grew too big for that, on her back, as she's carrying it now. Before much longer, the young brush-tailed possum will be moving off on his own. The owl could conceivably prey on the baby, but with so many smaller and easier-to-handle animals on the island, there's not much danger of that. Dislodging himself from his mother, the baby possum decides to test his own climbing skill. Part of his inherent climbing ability comes from being able to grip branches with his prehensile tail. Soon he'll be seeking on his own the succulent leaves and blossoms that his mother feeds upon. First, though, he'll have to learn his own capabilities. The foliage on the adjoining tree looks especially delicious to the baby possum, and he's determined to get there. What he lacks in agility, he more than makes up in persistence. The young possum finally sees he can't do it. Confused, the possum mistakes the koala for his mother and heads up the wrong tree. His mistake realized now, the young possum continues upward despite all obstacles. It's been an exciting first solo outing. What's occurring in the treetops is really of no interest to the wombat below. The wombat has decided to return to the burrow where he was born, an extensive tunnel where his mother still lives, but now she has another baby. Trying to emulate the mother wombat's digging skills, the baby starts its own excavation very well. The half-grown youngster has been on his own for several months, but neither the new baby nor the mother wombat are the least bit interested in welcoming him back. The wombats are powerful diggers and often make tunnels 100 feet in length. But this youngster is not at all interested in helping either his little relative or his mother with their current projects. This area is no longer the home for him that it was when he was a little one himself. Next spring, perhaps, he will find a mate, and the two of them will establish their own special territory. On the island that time forgot, the half-grown wombat continues looking for a territory of his own. He's entered a rockier terrain now, and soon encounters one of the small predators, a native cat, another of the marsupials. Intelligent and relatively fearless, the native cat preys mostly on mice and insects. Though not really a cat, it has a cat's curiosity and finds interest in a duck-billed platypus heading down toward a little stream nearby. This is the second of the only two monotremes, and by far the most unusual mammal in existence. It's an egg layer like the echidna. It has a bill like a duck, and protective membranes cover its eyes when it dives to search for food. Its blood temperature is much cooler than that of other mammals. The tail is like a beaver's, the fur like a muskrat's, and it has webbed feet. Its eggs are less than an inch long and leathery shelled, rather than brittle like a bird's. The odd bill is also leathery in texture and very sensitive. In sweeping it back and forth along the bottom, the nerve sensors can detect the type of food the strange animal requires: prawns, worms, and aquatic insects. Its curiosity appeased, the native cat continues with its prowlings on the island, pausing for only a moment to glance at the 2-year-old wombat, now heading toward the coastal area. A big fish eagle passing overhead is a sure sign the water is not far away. The Cape Barren goose pays little attention to the passing wombat, but the marsupial's movements are seen by the other eagle. Fortunately for the wombat, the eagle eats only fish, so the little mammal continues moving in safety along the rocky coastal area. On a lichen-covered rock at water's edge is the island's largest predator, the Tasmanian devil. Close by, a young animal of the same species is stranded on a rock by the incoming tide and doesn't seem to know what to do. Although the nearby adult Tasmanian devil is not the parent of the recently orphaned youngster, the very nearness of the familiar form like its mother encourages the young one to head there. These are strong and cunning animals. Though small, they are extremely savage and short-tempered, even among themselves. The plight of the youngster does not interest the adult. She has no feeling for it whatever, except that it represents an intruder encroaching on her territory. At this moment, a mere rock at the water's edge. The squabble is of little concern to the nearby white-breasted fish eagle. Though the little one doesn't give up easily, there's no chance at all that it will make the adult give up its position atop the rock. The perched eagle has become restless, and soon he'll begin to soar again over the waters just off the sandy shore. Only one sea lion remains here now. The others, having been so annoyed by the silver gulls that they finally return to the haven of the sea, as this last one does now. The shrieking of the noisy birds dies away, and the customary sense of peace and quiet returns now to the island that time forgot.
There is a sense of wonder which comes in the realization that certain animals on Earth are so rare that they live in one very limited area of the entire world. The various animals of Australia and its islands, which have survived here when they have been unable to survive anywhere else, are important representatives of the time when mammals first appeared on Earth. Kangaroos and koalas, platypuses and phalangers, wombats and echidnas are therefore vital scientific links to our prehistoric past. By preserving and protecting the habitat where these rare animals live, we save the animals themselves from extinction. At the same time, by learning more about such animals from our dim past, we can better plan a brighter future for man and the wild kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha, people you can count on, has presented Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha, helping people find Medicare solutions for over 50 years. To learn more about plan options or how to protect your kingdom, contact us today.
Mutual of Omaha. Protect your kingdom.